Hello and welcome to my second playthrough of the Pony Demand mod. Since my last video there have been several changes, several versions actually uploaded already, but just a quick summary of things that have changed. First, Griffin supplies now cost 20 times as much as they did before. Next, the impassable mountains between Equestria and the USA have been removed, so that sort of gamey barrier is no longer there. Equestrian guard units have been removed because the proper supplies don't exist in 1836, so that never really made sense. Equestria's population was reduced by half. I don't remember if I did this before or after the last video, but in any case it seems a lot more balanced now with approximately 1 million pops total. Equestria's clergyman pops have been reduced to 0.77%. Literacy has been dropped by I think 10 to 15% overall. And there's also variation by race, so unicorns having the highest, earth ponies the lowest, and this averages out to about 50%. 4 equestrian technologies have been removed. These can be researched again at your discretion, but I think you'll do fine without them. Next, there was a typo in the decision to renounce Equestria's claims on the US. This has been fixed, and this is important because the US will no longer systematically remove its claims on your provinces as you take the US apart. In order for the US to renounce its claims, you have to renounce your claims first. And also the US will never renounce its claims on lands east of the line between Texas and North Dakota. So you can have the USA released from you, and if that happens, the eastern USA will no longer be under your control. For the later game, the moving out spam has been removed, and the humans in province has been split into 2 events. Humans in province exists whenever humans are the minority. However, if humans are in the majority, for example, if you've just taken over a province that has a lot of humans in it, then they are going to be very pissed off, and you'll get a massive increase in local militancy and consciousness. Some minor fixes: the Salton Sea desert has been fixed, and also a small error in the Immigrant Act decision chain has been fixed. So let's fire it up and see what happens. Alright, so this will be probably my second or third attempt at this. My videos keep failing for various reasons. So a quick explanation of what I'm doing. First, to jumpstart the economy. I've got plenty of administration already, but I am looking to increase education as quickly as possible. Minimum upkeep, max tariffs. For research, I'm going with positivism for the colonial PowerPoint increase. Also for the permanent prestige. Hopefully I'll get that before 1838 or so. Let's see, politics. We'll go with all the various decisions. Rename Equestria. So on. We'll give the Mexicans in Equestria the rights of man. Disable the various spam events with the aid of divide by 0, increase the difficulty, construct fortifications, and hide the extra decisions. For my national focuses, I'll be going clergyman initially, probably be changing that very quickly as soon as that gets over 2% from the initial 0.77. And as far as diplomacy, for now I'm going to save up some points, but I will probably be taking Griffin Mountains from Griffonia as my first order of business here in about a year or so. Let's see, as far as the military, I will be disbanding and reforming the military. Only units I want to keep are these 2 regulars. So you build naval bases in 2 additional provinces, and finally get some man-o-wars going for some additional military power. Alright, I'll get back to you as soon as something interesting happens. Alright, so I'll begin justifying a war against Griffonia. Hopefully I won't be discovered too quickly. Got a decent sized military, certainly more powerful than the Griffins. So my goal here is quite simple. I want to take Griffin Mountains so the US can't get it. As far as research, I've got 1.71% clergymen. Once that hits 2%, I will begin pumping out soldiers as quickly as possible. Get that maxed for all states. 4.6 infamy against the Griffins. Alright, so I have my CB declaring war for Griffin Mountains. I might take Everfree in addition. It depends on how much war score I need. And that would give me an additional port for that colonial power boost. So let's see, how many people are present here? 48,000 Griffins, I should say. Yeah, it might be worth taking Everfree as well. Alright, here we go. And there we go. So Equestria expands and the USA is cock-blocked. Alright, so I got plenty of diplomatic points to spend now. Let's get some relations with Mexico. So again, my goal is to quickly colonize both Colorado and Oklahoma, make a beeline to Texas, and try to sphere them before the US, assuming I become a great power soon. Otherwise, it'll be a fight to the death against the US as soon as they get manifest destiny. Either way, it'll be interesting. Get relations up with Mexico. I don't really care about relations with the US because as soon as they get manifest destiny, they'll be coming after me. So next will be the UK. And almost enough bureaucrats to convert Valmansis into a state. Right on the verge. And as soon as these naval bases rise, I think I will have enough colonial points to begin working on Colorado. Of course, turning Valmansis into a state will help too. And let's try and encourage population growth. See what that does. Oh, here we go. Create a state. And some free colonial power. Fantastic. Springdale almost has enough. Wonder if I can get any sort of immigration. Oh, I think I've got closed borders at the moment. Let's take a look. Nobody gets out. Yeah, that won't work. Alright, let's see if I can double up on population growth. I don't know if this works, but let's see what happens. So I was getting about 600 a month previously. Not too much better. There's one naval base. There's another. Yeah, now I'm getting almost 2K per month. Fantastic. So, let's see, I can swap out first ministers. Not having any luck with the ministers this time around. Alright, Colorado is now a protectorate, and let's go for Oklahoma next. Alright, protectorate in Oklahoma. Expand the forts. Let's see how Texas is doing. US is cordial. Gotta move fast. Alright. So I can create a protectorate in Colombia. And I guess continue on into Alberta or something. Where should I go? Let's try New Caledonia, I guess. Again, this is a little bit silly. No one else is even trying to expand. Ranked 8th. Let's see if it holds up. Just need to become a great power and then I can start working on Texas. UK has no great power allies. I wonder if they would ally with me. That would really help against the USA. So you noticed last time I became a great power without even trying. This time was a little bit trickier, and as I mentioned, I've tried this a few times now, some recording issues and whatnot, but as it turned out, my first time around, the USA completely rolled me, and it appears that taking over this stretch of land, Idaho from Griffonia, is essential to keep the US out of this area. I don't know why Griffonia is so opposed to an early game alliance. It really doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. And there's no one else who would possibly ally with them, so why would they not ally with me? So got a protectorate there. Really need to become a great power. Like right now. Right this second. Alright, great power. Fantastic. Need to influence the shit out of Texas. Invest. Make sure I'm 100%. Alright, what do I need? Let's try stables, I guess. Otherwise it seems to be a shortage of horses. So this session might actually work out for me. Oh my god, are you kidding me? Well, on the bright side, they're only cordial. And they're not actively influencing Texas either. So it appears I've got this in the bag. Just have to get that to 100 and keep it there. Whew. That was a little bit tense at times. Got a bit more infamy reduction. Not exactly the easiest nation to play, that's for sure, but I was looking for a challenge. So in that sense, I would say so far, this mod has been fairly successful. It might be a completely different story once US gets Manifest Destiny, but we'll see what happens. So it should be increasing relations. Maybe they will... Alright, great, alliance. That will speed things along. Oh no. Very bad, very bad. Oh, come on. Let's see. So Protectorate in Alberta. I guess that's all I can do up here for the time being. Colonies in Oklahoma, whatever that is, and in Alberta, why not? What's that do for my prestige? I've got a net loss of prestige. That's awful. Alright, accused once again by Texas, or the USA in Texas. Alright, back up to 8th. Good. Very good. Alright, we're definitely going liberal because I need as much immigration as possible. I would say humanly possible, but of course these are not humans. Alright, Colorado is now a state. Alright, so let's see what I can do now. Soldiers maxed. Soldiers pretty well maxed. Good enough. Alright, let's get some more population growth. It's really the most critical thing right now. Aside from making sure Texas doesn't fall into the hands of the US, that would definitely be the worst possible thing. And can I justify yet? Not yet. Wonder if I can bring them into my sphere. That would be pretty cool. Just instantly integrate them. Is that how it works? Great, one more national focus, a new ideology, and more population growth. I hope this works, I really do. My military is pretty pathetic this time around. What the hell is going on here? Oh shit. Oh my god, are you kidding me? Oh my god. I can't believe that just happened. That is the stupidest thing I have ever seen. Are you kidding me? So stupid. Go, 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 go. Oh my god. Oh. Yes, they are not in the US sphere yet. So I'm gonna just park this unit on Houston or Austin, I think. I do not want them going to the US under any circumstances. So Mexico is not in the US sphere, so I can begin influencing them. And I think at this point I can probably justify Lord Admiral. Should I make them a puppet? I think that's kind of the optimum strategy at this point. So we'll see what happens when they're in my sphere. Oh, look at the people's ideologies. Oh, what kind of movements we got. Oh my god. Oh. But the militancy is dropping them like crazy. I wonder if that's intentional. Alright, here we go, Griffonia. Alright, so Griffonia is now a puppet. A national conference. Huh. Yeah, it's radicalizing so quickly, it's just resetting itself. Look at my consciousness, it's maxed. Militancy's going up. Great statesman. That's nice. So I guess I am going the peaceful route, so I will need to sphere Hawaii at some point. Tricky. Alright, create a state in Colombia. Campaign for free press. I should just go straight for immigration, let the Jacobins take over. Do we have any immigration? Alright, we got people coming in. Mecklenburg and Sweden. Oh, wait. There we go. What do they want? Campaign for free press. Alright, let's do free press. I can't risk a full revolution right now. Just can't do it. Would knock me out of great power status and then I'm screwed. As much as I would love to. The USA is too big of a threat right now. Alright, so hopefully that'll give me some immigration. The nation is ultra liberal. Let's do it. Here come the annoying elections. Alright, getting some immigration. Very nice, very nice. Need more. Exactly what I was hoping for. State in New Caledonia. Min-life rating just dropped, so it looks like I can colonize this area. Oh, the imperialists are in power. That's really odd. Huh. So I can build some factories. Okay, so I spent the last few minutes building a ton of factories. So they'll be done sooner or later. Alright, make a state in Oklahoma. Elementary reform. Let's go based on population. Sure get some more immigrants. There we go. More immigrants. Oh, Jacobins. Oh my god. Well, so much for the army. The new liberal regime. Freedom has prevailed. Alright, weighted universal based on population, etc., etc. Cool. Well, let's see. Go open immigration, get some more immigrant attraction. Pass every reform I can. Get as much immigration as possible. Oh my god, 2,600. That's crazy. Long live our princesses. It's just a matter of time until Mexico's out of the US sphere now. 17,000 per month, that's crazy. Must be potato famine. Alright, and now the United States is just letting me take Mexico. As long as the UK is hemorrhaging pops, I need to keep focusing on immigration. It's really going to screw up the demographics, but there are more Irishmen than Griffins. Alright, so keeping Griffonias around is just kind of stupid, so I'm going to annex them instead. That'll give me an additional port as well, plus some pops, and give me some nicer borders. So I lost a tiny bit of prestige due to not adding them to my sphere, but it's worked out better anyway. So, one more naval base, a new colony, and some more pops. Alright, and Mexico is in my sphere. And alliance with Mexico. Perfect. So finally reached 2 million pops. Took forever. Alright, one additional national focus. We'll do passports for the immigrant attraction of state and government. And more immigration. Oh no. That is bad. Very, very bad. 18th July, 1857. It's not a lot of time. Well, if I can't do anything else. I absolutely must block the US from Texas. Oh. Mexican-American War against the USA. Alright, why not? Got 92, they've got 135, Mexico's got 45. This could get very, very ugly. Oh, and then the Civil War starts. Awesome. Actually have a shot at this after all. That was perfect timing. War subsidies for the Confederates. Oh, this is perfect. Alright, the Civil War is over, so I can peace out. What should I add as a war goal? Free people, Confederate States, Missouri. Confederate States acquire Missouri, acquire Mexican Texas. New England acquires Massachusetts. Proceed. There we go. Good game. I don't know if you noticed, but I was hardly saying a word there. I was just so engaged in trying to stay alive and keep my allies alive. That was, I'd say that worked out pretty well, not just in terms of the outcome, but also in terms of the balance. So getting to this point was quite difficult, but as you can see, it is possible. Switch from encouraging population. Let's try getting some soldiers back. And the Confederate States are now in my sphere. Huh. USA lost West Virginia and Maryland. So where's the USA's capital? Philadelphia. That's pretty badass. My sphere is the best sphere. Alright, more immigrants. Dreams of empire. Sweet. Alaska is ours. Alright. So revolution and counter-revolution. Now I can annex Hawaii. Let's see what else. Means of production. And that's it for now. Alright, declaring war against Bali. So also declaring war against Kutai. Cores, dismantle, acquire, Mexican, Texas. There we go. West Java. Alright, there we go. Check out Equestria now. We got 2/3 of the Philippines. The best parts of Indonesia. East and West Java. And Banda Aceh as well, however you pronounce that. So all that from a single war. Of course there were 2 free CBs, then the rest I had to add later on. It's a bizarre war goal, but okay. Alright, so the war is over. I can finally proceed with the Equestrian Empire. 10 infamy, Jesus.
Brazil, Bolivia, Argentina, Panama, New England, Mexico, Confederate States, Sweden. Against who? Oh my God. Is Canada not in? Ottomans. Nope, Canada is in. Shit. Alright. Here we go again. It's too bad this isn't a Great War. Thought I had a unit up there, but oh well. Better late than never. What? Are you kidding? How did that happen? Well, whatever, I'll take it. I didn't really want to fight anyway. Alright, so the Equestrian Empire, 10 infamy, 35 prestige. This is a really bizarre name. That's what one of the other players was saying needed to be fixed. Mexico. Alright, let's go there. Let's get relations up as high as possible. I'm not sure if that has any effect. So I'm allied with Mexico. Let's see what happens. Treaty of Sonora. Negotiations succeed. They agree to renounce their claims and sell it to us. Get the checkbook. Lose, lose, gain, lose, gain, lose, gain. That's really bizarre. Let's see. Oh, cool. Five infamy. 2nd July, 1904. Alright, here we go. Ally with France. France will call me into the French war with UK, which they are winning. Manifest Destiny, 15 infamy. $35 infamy total. So the United States has been destroyed. As you can see, I've basically won the game. There's really nothing else for me to do at this point.
Okay, so for a post-mortem, of all of the recent Victoria games that I've played, at least single player, this is perhaps the most fun I've had, just because the stakes were so high. So if you watched this all the way through, you saw that I went liberal very early on, and a big reason for that is to get all those immigrants coming in. The handicaps that I gave Equestria in the early game are substantial, and I could have just as easily lost everything as soon as the US got Manifest Destiny. It was just fortunate that I had that alliance with Mexico, and so together we were able to take on the US without too much difficulty. I think the biggest problem with this mod as a whole, and not just this version but Equestria mod at all, is Manifest Destiny. When Mexico contains its traditional areas, you know, the areas it starts with, the areas it holds in 1836 in vanilla, Mexico is a bit more formidable, and it also makes sense where Manifest Destiny allows the US to take those colonies from Mexico. In the case of Equestria, all of Equestria can be taken away through this one event. And it means that an overpowered US can just come and steamroll in a situation that doesn't make any sense for this particular mod. When all of this area is held by Mexico and is depopulated, then it makes sense where the US would want to come in and take it all. In the case of Equestria, this whole area is held by a self-sufficient pony nation, and the Griffin's up in the north, so it doesn't really make sense that the US should just magically get cores on all of it. I think personally, for Manifest Destiny, the whole point of Manifest Destiny is to allow the US to get an empire from sea to sea. I think Manifest Destiny should give the US cores in this region, maybe let them take over the Griffin areas, and also British Columbia, this area up here. This would give the US the same continent spanning potential without completely ruining the game for Equestria, which is what would probably happen 2/3 of the time if I were guessing. You also saw where the first thing I did was I invaded Griffonia, and that's just because if I don't, the US will do it first. And due to the events with the Griffins, each event drops your relations by 5 or 10, I forget. But because of that, you can never get relations up high enough, fast enough to get an alliance. And that's a real problem if one of your goals is to defend Griffonia. If you can't get an alliance, obviously you can't defend them. So the whole chain where you can inherit Griffonia when the US attacks them, that just goes out the window. Your best bet is just to conquer Griffonia and then take that land and develop it yourself. At least in my experience. If you don't do that, the US will take it, and then you'll have that much less land to work with, and it'll be that much harder for you to defend your area. If you look at the natural borders here, Griffonia has, I don't even know how you pronounce this, Cordumur and Pocoltello. This is a really nice defensive line. So if you take Griffonia, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, basically 5 provinces you have to defend, and then the southern area where you can attack into. But these are some nice mountain provinces that are great for defense. On the other hand, if you let the US take it, now you've got this massive front you have to defend against, and they can just pour units in from all directions. So that doesn't really work. The reduction in pops turned out fine. But you probably saw in the early game, the way to compensate for that is to use this encouraged population growth. It turns out that this is incredibly overpowered and it does stack. So if you have 4 national focuses, all of them running this increased population, you will very, very quickly get your population up by, 6,000 or 8,000 per month, regardless of how many pops you already have. This national focus does not automatically deactivate when you reach the threshold. So if you don't want to be gamey, then you'll have to deactivate that on your own. You also saw that I didn't get the, not the Lunar Republic, I didn't get the reactionaries back until fairly late game. So I didn't get Manifest Destiny until well after 1900. You can see now my infamy is up to 35, but as a result of Manifest Destiny and the Equestrian Empire, I've now got cores on all of Griffonia, all of British Columbia, and I've bought most of northwestern Mexico from Mexico, who's in my sphere again. When the Confederacy released, of course, I helped them out. I believe Mexico and I were already at war with the US, and the Civil War happened during our war with the US, so that worked out well for me. That didn't have to happen that way. We could have just as easily let the US take over the South, and then that would have been more advantageous for me later on, I suppose, because at this point I can't really take over the southern states because the US no longer has core on most of it. But that being said, this game worked out really well for me. As you can see, I'm ranked 2nd. I could very easily overtake France. It's not even a challenge at this point, but no one's coming after me. I've got the #1 military in the world by far. Here you can see my military score is almost triple that of France, almost double China, and double Soviet Union. So basically no one's going to come after me, even though my infamy is way over the limit. And technically everyone in the world should be ganging up on me at this point, but I don't know if they're even going to. My sphere consists of pretty much all of the Americas. I've got Mexico, CSA, Brazil, Colombia, Venezuela, Argentina, Chile, Bolivia, South Peru. Basically it's just some minors in this area I don't have, but all of the majors are already in my sphere. I've got a big chunk of Oceania. There are colonies all over the place. This is the only colony that's still up for grabs, and if I wanted to I could pretty easily take it, but I just don't really care to let that finish at this point. Some other spherelings, South Africa, I believe Gelady maybe. Yeah, Gelady is in my sphere, so not too important. But yeah, overall I think if you're looking for a challenge, this is definitely this mod will definitely give you a challenge, especially on very hard difficulty, which is the way I played it. As far as moving forward, I'd be happy to listen to any suggestions you have, if you want to make any changes or see how things might mix things up a bit. But personally, I think for Manifest Destiny, instead of Manifest Destiny giving the US cores on all of Equestria and Griffonia, I could see it maybe being limited to Griffonia plus Valmansis plus Springdale. That would be a nice sort of natural border, but then leave Equestria with California. That makes a lot of sense to me. It also allows Equestria to rebuild and potentially fight back later if they lose that area, because the alternative right now is you either win or you lose everything and you're completely destroyed, which I think is complete bullshit. So let me know what you think, and I'll be making changes. Of course, I'll upload the current version. I will be fixing that one decision in the South, the Southern States decision, which for some reason was just not worded properly. I don't know what the deal was there, but I'll figure it out. So I'll be looking into that. And I'll also be doing a couple of other mods here in the near future, much shorter than this. Won't be playing quite as long, probably. But let me know what you think, and thanks for watching. Bye.